Are we already started? I'm right on time to watch Taiwan live TV!
Hi everybody, it's MJ here, your favorite live streamer. Yeah, what an age we live in where we can go live from a mobile phone. I mean, the thing is this thick and like that long. Got cameras in the back, cameras in the front, and all I gotta do is press a button and whoa. How's everybody doing? We are upstairs in the studio. I'm not going to take any calls tonight. We had a really good show last night. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad that Mo joined us from New York. And Mo's a long-time follower from way back. Ken Rod, fist bump to you. Nice to see you. Yeah, and Dean joined us. We're going to do some more of these call-in shows. I'm going to set it up a little bit better. Let me show you this guy. You guys don't see this too often. That's the 32 channel fully analog recording desk right here. Hey Galara, how you doing? I counted them. There's like 650 knobs on this thing. Anyway, that's all analog. And over here is the X32. This is all digital. Now the funny thing is this console is half the length of that, but it's 16 on 2 layers. So you press the next button, and then the faders move, and it, see, it's like this. So it's 16 and 16. But yeah, how you guys doing? All right, nice to have you with us. It's kind of late here. It's 0:55, so it means it's 5 minutes before 1 a.m. And that would be Monday morning here in Taiwan. So I'm actually really, really tired, kind of worn out, but I'm doing okay. And I got a lot of work to do in the studio. Haven't been doing it because my back's been hurting. I missed basically an entire week of recording, and it's kind of messing me up. It's making me mad, but hey. Yeah, there you go, WB4J. That is Bud in Texas. DENV1L, that's my call sign, November Victor 1 Lima, if you want to look me up. But yeah, nice to have you there with us, OM from Texas. And oh, this is cool. I got this sitting here because I was using it. This is the tube preamp mic, and if I take the clown nose off, I mean, look how beautiful this thing is. This is crazy. And this little red window here glows when the tube lights up. It's a tube preamp mic, and it's fantastic. And this is the one that Dave in Osaka helped me get. And the clown nose, I just keep this on to protect the mic. That way I don't have to put it back in the box. Art, how you doing? Nice to have you with us. Wow, it's been a while. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, sir. And fist bump to you, Art. Boom. That's not a punch. Art and I, have been having some conversations on WhatsApp. I stay in contact with a lot of my followers, offline, and you guys can reach me, if you want to find me on WhatsApp or on Twitter, you know, you just go to Taiwan Live TV, or you can go to, you know, I'm Taiwan Live TV everywhere. You can find me, and yeah, we can have conversations. But Art and I have been talking about the you know, the nasal rinses and things like that, and it's really good. Yeah, I think it's fantastic to have these kinds of conversations and keep the dialogue going, because we all have to stick together on this, you know. These are very strange times. Nothing like this, quite like this before. But anyway. Oh yeah? By either, are you referring to yourself or me? Because yeah, I know I need a haircut. I know I needed a haircut, but I had to think about that for a second. Now, I mentioned this the other day. I just wanted to show you this. I mentioned that I had a ghost built Rickenbacker 12 string. I'm not going to show you the headstock. Here it is. Look at this. This guy built these toaster pickups by hand. Yeah, I'm not going to show you the headstock. And it's a little bit different down here, but the pickups are really nice on it. And if I pick up a plastic pick, and I don't show you the headstock, let's see. Oh, it's in reasonably good tune. Now, I don't have this through an amp, but just listen to this. So you can tell, like, if you put this on an amp, it's going to sound unbelievable. So we'll do that sometime. But that is the 12 string that you've been hearing on my recordings. That's it, with the F hole, or it's not really an F hole, but with the cutout on it, and it's black. And I bought that, believe it or not, in Western Massachusetts. Yeah, doesn't, I mean, and there's no amp. It just, you know, that's just how it sounds. I bought that in Western Massachusetts back in 1999. And this guitar, I got guitars hanging out all over the place. That's a bass right there. That's a bass. Now, I will tell you that I'm not a bass player. I can play bass a little bit. Enough, you know. I've actually played bass. If you look at my discography, there is one song that I played bass on, but I always deferred bass to guys like Paul Brown, Bill West, and Tony Vaughn, because, you know, they just do it better. But yeah, I mean, I know the fundamentals, and I know it enough to be able to, you know, lay it down. Now this is a guitar. What's this called? Vivid. I bought, and it had a pickup on it, and you know, it had this like little rudimentary little adjustments and a pickup. But listen, like the pickup came loose. So I put electric guitar strings on this thing. You know, it's like they're really like, well, they're out of tune. Anyway, the thing is, right? I put electric guitar strings on it so I could go and play like solos on it, right? So that's the thing. No, it's not. That is a fallacy. That's why girls play bass. See, this always happens, and I'm not going to name any names because it'll just be painful. But there's a famous band from Boston that had like a big hit record, and the girl played bass. You know, the thing, and you see that in Taiwan too. A lot of girls play bass because there's only 4 strings. No, to do bass right, you got to be a monster. Look up on YouTube. Look up Tony Vaughn. Okay, Tony Vaughn. Look him up on YouTube, and I guarantee you, if you own a bass, you'll put it on the wall like mine is. Because seriously. But anyway, this guitar, because I have, I stretched it. Anyway, this guitar doesn't sound really good because it was only, I got it in Thailand, it was 2,000 bahts, like 60 bucks. Is it easier to pick up for beginners? No. Because the strings are really fat. It's like pushing down horses' legs. It depends. I mean, you can't really say that, Gallardo. It's like, you know, what's easier, sax or clarinet? Well, clarinet players say clarinet's easier, but sax players say that sax is easier. You know, it really depends on the aptitude, you know. Do you want to play organ? Do you want to play piano? Want to play guitar? You want to play banjo? It really, really depends. I'm serious. The people who specialize in what they do, you know, are amazing. Like I mean, I personally know some, you know, like Tim Landers and Tony Vaughn, these incredible bass players that when they're playing, I don't know which hand, you know, to watch, because the right hand's going like this and the left hand's going like, it's like crazy. I can't tell you how many punches I've missed with, you know, with Tony, just because he's been playing. I was watching him, so. Yeah, but the whole thing about bass is you have to hold the bottom of the band. It's not just, you know, it's not just going. It's not really. It's really not like that. 12-string bass. I never saw a 12-string bass. I've seen a 5-string bass. Wow. Anyway, so. But this guitar, it's okay for like going down the street to the local store and having like a barbecue and stuff. Hey, Simply Coco, I know who you are. Welcome on Twitch. But because I put guitar strings on this, you know, I can, you know, I can do some of So, no, we're not giving lessons. I'm not qualified to give lessons. I'm just goofing around because I've had something to drink and I'm feeling good. And I happen to be living, fortunately, in probably the safest place in the world right now. And we're trying to get our mind off the bad stuff. So this is a guitar, Vivid, that I bought in Thailand, and the pickup fell off of it. Hear it? It's in there somewhere. It's just a little disc. So I don't use it. Yeah, maybe 6-string. So I don't use it, but now this is why it's so cheap. Because if you tune it for open, then it's not right for chords. See, that's sharp. So if you go back to, and then, so you got, wow. Hey, welcome from Italy. Yeah, you need a break from the local news in Italy. But now it's out up here, see? Rob, how you doing? Fist bump to you, my goodness. Everybody's with us tonight. Actually, what I should do, all right. I should hook the 12-string up to an amp, shouldn't I? I know, it's amazing. Well, I was a Gibson player for a long, long time. And if you look on the wall here, that is, hang on, that is a 1964 Epiphone Olympic. it's a type of a melody maker, and it was made by Gibson in the Kalamazoo, Michigan factory. I've always been partial, to Gibsons more than Fenders. I've owned Fenders, I've owned a bunch of different kinds. But I really like, I'm sorry, excuse me, and then what you think. I really like, I'm not a Fender guy. Gallardo. Hey, Bernardo, how's it going, man? I think I said hi to you earlier. I just don't want to miss you. This guy here, the Brian May, that's a Burns London. But Brian May is now making his own with his own company, Brian May Guitars. And I got to tell you, I really, really, really like those. And I like the different, hey, hello from Sweden. Welcome. Welcome to Taiwan. I really like the various iterations of the Brian May guitars, and of course Andrew Guyton makes one that's just out of this world, and I would love to have one, but I don't. So for me, it's not so much the acoustics, because let me tell you, I mean, Stratocasters, obviously the Fenders, they sound great up like in the neck position, with a wall of amps. You get that Jimi Hendrix sound, but it's the scale. I don't like the way the Fenders feel and the way the Fenders play. And there's lots of pictures, of me playing Fenders, in different shows and things, in the past. But no, it's not the acoustics so much, it's the scale. And the thing is that I will say that the no, it's okay. Coco, listen, Twitch is a great platform, and we're getting your comments, so yeah, just stay where you want to, do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. But the funny thing is when I got the Brian May guitar, I really, really liked it. And I couldn't figure out why I liked it so much. And then, because I had the Epiphone in the States for a couple of years, and I didn't get it back in Taiwan until 2010, I put them side by side on guitar stands, and I realized that they're within like a quarter of an inch of the same scale. So that's what it is. Jeff, my goodness, fist bump to you. Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. Well, it's been a long time. Holy cow, this is great. Maybe I should go on later all the time. All right. Welcome on YouTube. Let me do this. I got this little Brian May amp over here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn the gain down a little bit. We got, I'm going to show you the headstock. Well, actually, the headstock doesn't have a name on it. This is the Ghost built Rickenbacker, but I don't know what it's going to do with this amp, because yeah, this is excellent. Ooh, that's really, really mid-rangey. Like, oh, I know what to do. I need to take this switch out, and then, okay, so now the thing about the 12-string is you can do, wow. That must be like really off to one side, but I'm going to turn the gain down just a hair more, and the tone up, and we're going to, so I think we can get a decent, yes, now listen to this. that's the 12 string. I think it's a little bit too loud. Now, here's the thing is if you have a 12, you got a 12 string, and it sounds like this, even though there's a little bit of inharmonicity, you know, because the strings get old. You can do all kinds of Eric Carmen and the Raspberries. If we were older, thanks. We wouldn't have to be worried tonight, baby. Oh, I wanna be with you so bad. Oh, baby, I wanna be with you. Oh yeah, I wanna be with you. Great old stuff. Let me turn this down just a hair, because I wasn't expecting to do this. Now, let me see. One of my favorites. I'm going to check the tuning. I think it's okay. But the thing is the saddles don't have individual adjustments for each string. They have an adjustment for each pair. And sometimes, well, the way the 12 is, the 3, 4, 5, and 6 strings are actually octaves. So like here's the G, and there's its octave, there's a D, and there's its octave. See, but the problem is, if you make the D and its octave in tune, when you fret it on the 2nd fret, the octave is slightly flat, but you can't adjust it individually. So what you have to do is you have to make it slightly flat on the open, so when you fret it, that sounds a little close to being in, but it kind of makes that jangly sound that everybody's used, you know. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. And then, there, of course, everybody knows that. To everything. Anyway, but my favorites were always Eric Carmen and the Raspberries. And Eric Carmen did a tune, and I can relate to this because if you listen to my discography, I did stuff in my 30s that I wish I didn't do, because well, sort of, because it is in octaves, but I did stuff in my 30s that I can't do anymore. This is anyway. Eric Carmen did this tune when he was 22, called "Let's Pretend," and I'd like to play a little bit of it for you, if you don't mind. Just, you know, ad lib here with the 12 string, just here in the, you know, nothing special. I guess it's got a little amp here. I don't have it set up. It's not going into the, you know, it's just in the room here. So Eric Carmen, man, yeah, all by myself. Yeah, great artist. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, welcome on YouTube, Coco. Simply Coco, thank you, because now I can find you. I was talking about that last night. I don't know where you are, Coco. Now we got you. Anyway, let me do a little Eric Carmen. I'll tell you a joke. There's a famous recording engineer named Dave Dassinger. He's from New York, and you can find his website ddmusic.com. And when Dave would record me, he'd put a microphone on me and he would joke about having to insert the Eric Carmen filter to take the Eric Carmen sound out of my voice. Now you guys know who Eric Carmen is. You know, they did, you know, please go all the way. You know that song, right? All the Eric Carmen raspberries, right? So the joke is that when I really want to do Eric Carmen for an impersonation, yeah, I love doing it. Years ago, it was funny because years ago, in my youth, you know, when I had more of my range back, I'm 64 now, but back then when I had more of my range, when I would warm up, I would go through a whole genre of different singers just goofing around. Everyone, you know, from "It's not unusual to be loved by anyone," you know, just a whole different range. So let me do some Eric Carmen for you, if you don't mind. This is it on the 12 string. I know you can't see it. Maybe I should just go like this, because I don't think it matters if you see my face. Ready? Okay, so this is Eric Carmen, the Raspberries, and this is my version of Ready. I can't sleep nights wishing you were here beside me. Can't help feeling that's the way it ought to be. You know we could run away when I couldn't bear to hear the things you'd say, things they'd say. Oh, baby, let's pretend tonight we'll live forever. If we close our eyes, believe it might come true. Baby, let's pretend we can always be together. But for now, just let me spend the night with you. Somehow, some way, things are gonna be so different. Some way, I promise it'll be alright. Now that we're alone, I couldn't bear to leave and take you home. Oh, baby, let's pretend we can always be together. Close our eyes, believe it might come true. Baby, let's pretend we can always, be together. But for now, just let me spend the night with you. Anyway, it goes on to like this really cool bridge, which basically in today's PC world you can't sing. But anyway, but the thing is can you imagine, like, you're 22 years old and you're doing that stuff like way up in the stratosphere, and then you're pushing 70 and, you know, you've got to do those tunes night after night on a show, because it's like, you know, promise it'll be alright. And now that we're on our road, I couldn't bear to. High D. Thanks. To leave and take you home. Anyway, I did the same thing. When I recorded Gotta Keep Dancing, I didn't care about having to sing it 30 years from then. I did it, and that's why I sang, You know, I screamed like up here, the C over the A. And then when I did the Gotta Keep Dancing at the end, you can find it on Spotify. Just look up Gotta Keep Dancing, recording artist MJK. I did, you know, Gotta Keep Dancing, and a scream. It's like, I couldn't do that now if you had a gun to my head. What we would do today is we would sample the original track and just drop it in the mix, you know, and because that's what happens with, you know, that's what happens nowadays. Thank you. Thanks, Ken. All right. Take care, man. We'll see you. Thank you. That's what happens nowadays with groups like, you know, Aha, they're doing, you know, Take on me with your touch. Right? But they're doing, you know, that is on like a digital track. So anyway, because I haven't smoked, you know, my life, and I didn't abuse drugs, and I like alcohol, but I didn't abuse alcohol. I have most of my range left, whatever it is. So it's enough that I can work with. But there it is. Anyway, I just love the 12 string. And to be able to do the man, just to sit around the house, you know, well, this is my house, but to sit around the house and just be able to just do this stuff. I looked up this morning and the sun was gone. Turn on some music to start my day. I lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes. Wow, that's up there. And I slipped away. Actually, they don't play the background guitars in that. They just do the. That's great writing. That, more than a feeling. Of course, you know, favorite songs change. Everybody does that. They have a favorite song for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or a month, then it changes. I'm going to tell you something that's really funny. I've been watching recently a lot of old 70s and 80s shows. So what's been in my mind lately is some of the binge watching I've been doing. The Love Boat, you know, those kind of songs. You know, we're making another run, that kind of stuff. Because I try to stay in touch with, you know, the show tunes kind of thing. But I always come back to More Than a Feeling. With that, you know. You know, the personal connection that I have, you know, with Boston, the city, and having met Brad Delp and Tom Schultz in my youth and the whole thing. You guys know this whole thing. So it means a lot to me. And I read recently that Tom Schultz was actually very touched by the fact that people are still listening to the song, which is about being lost, you know, in a familiar song. 'Cause a lot of people don't, I don't think a lot of people understand what he's saying. He says, and I lost myself in a familiar song. I closed my eyes and I slipped away, and it's interesting how it does with the C. Open E, then he goes to B, and then the G, and then there's the. Now what he sings is, he says, it's more than a feeling. In the background. background vocals are going, more than a feeling. When I hear that old song they used to play, I begin dreaming. Then the background vocals go, more than a feeling, till I take my Mary and walk away. I see my Marian walking away. And it's about nostalgia, the nostalgic feeling that you get when you play these old songs. Now this reminds me, I don't want to cry, but my publisher, he passed away. His name was Thomas F. Piemonte, and he had a publishing company called Time Machine Music. Because you know this, everybody knows this. A song can bring you back. You hear the song on the radio and you go, wow, I'm back in high school. Oh honey, that's our song. I remember our first dance. I remember we got, when it was our wedding, we danced. I remember we got married. I remember our baby was born. All these things, they're associated with music. Time Machine Music. Even when I was 22 years old and he told me that, I realized, wow, that's pretty profound. But when you write these hit songs and you hear them, it really, really makes you think about that time that you were in. And there are so many classic songs that bring you back. You back to that. So it's really like that. What I try to do is I try to write modern songs that have that kind of nostalgic feeling to them. It's hard, man. It's a tightrope trying to walk that, but that's what I do. And as writers, we have what we call musical devices. Everybody knows, like 2 minor goes to 5, things like that. But we have things like we used to call the chill factor that we would write tunes with to try to, give you chills when you hear it. The problem is some of the songs become, too formulated. There's many rock songs that are just absolutely formula crazy. But then again, there are some songs that just make you so happy when you hear them, even though they are formulated. And you think about like oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and I rise, wipe the sleep out of my eyes. My shaving razor's cold and it stains. She loves Sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? I mean, those kinds of things just, they bring you really back. And a A lot of them are in G. It's really funny, but a lot of the big hit songs are in G. And especially with the 12 string. Everybody knows this one. Tom Petty, so it's like in that G thing. But there's so many songs that are in that G, that jangly thing on the 12 string. We just played like Daydream Believer, but even like, so G and D are harmonically related, so you got like a Tommy Rowe. I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning like a whirlpool, it never ends. And it's you, girl, making it spin. Really crazy. And it's not like a coincidence that More Than a Feeling is in D. With the, and this open C and the G. Anything like that is bound to be a hit. Heard it from a friend who, heard it from a friend who, heard it from another, you've been messing around. There it is. Again, there it is with the G. So, I mean, I didn't make this up. So, the kind of stuff that I write, where I'm doing like, writing stuff in G too, so that's how it goes. Walking slowly, I make my way down the avenue, feeling lonely, can't seem to get my mind off of you. I'm walking in the pouring rain, hides the tears on my face, talking about major pain. Oh, I'd like to erase, I really want to know. That's the kind of stuff that I write. Again, this kind of G, C, and D kind of thing, so. All right. I think we've had enough of that for tonight, so. All right. I hope that I don't get any hits, that is copyright hits on YouTube. I'm going to be mad. Because the truth is, the thing about those copyright hits, I've written to those guys before, and whenever I've done stuff and they've hit me, I'm like, where's my artist fee? See, they don't know I'm a BMI affiliated writer, and I tell them I am. Look, I've gone through the process, I'm in the business, I know what's going on, I got a publisher, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, if you want to hit me for the publisher's share, but don't take everything away from my channel, because I am an artist, and hey, I did the tune. It's my version. I should get paid for what I did. No, they don't care. This is why I have hated and have continued to hate the music business. I got my first recording contract offer from CBS Records in 1978, and I turned it down. Had my second chance in 1981, and there was just no way, to meet the minds. I don't really regret it, because like Frank Sinatra says, I did it my way. But Okay, good. I'm glad you did. Glad you did learn something. I'm glad somebody's still watching. Big Kahuna Man. I'm going to scroll through here. Did you say? Let me see. Did you say where you're from? I'm looking. No. Okay. Well, Big Kahuna. I mean, you're from Hawaii. I'm assuming so. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. But yeah. Anyway. I was a producer in Boston. Basically, I'm just a washed up guy now, in Taiwan, but hey, I'm having fun. And I'm doing a new album. I got so fed up with the music business. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't want to name names, but actually, I don't remember, which is good. I remember at a meeting with my personal manager and my business partner, who's the drummer that was playing on my records. And there's a guy, he worked for Atlantic Records, and he signed Hootie and the Blowfish. That's all I can tell you. I don't know the name. Now, I'm getting this secondhand, and I don't want to get sued. But anyway, the word came down that somebody, Hawaii, okay, excellent. Somebody from Atlantic Records said that the best thing that I could do from Chicago. Oh, I see. Okay, so you're originally from Chicago, but now in Hawaii. Okay, well, you're probably having more fun in Hawaii than you would be having right now in Chicago. And my heart goes out to you guys that are suffering from COVID-19, because I know Hawaii has some cases, and being islands, they're more isolated, of course, from the mainland, but it's going to go up. But my personal manager called me and he said, well, they said that the best thing you could do for your career was to get addicted to heroin. Okay. Well, nobody that I know back in those days that's addicted to heroin can still sing anything at all when they're 64. So, anyway. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't. And you better believe that I tell my daughter all this stuff. I don't hold back. I mean, I make it age appropriate for her, but I don't hold back. She knows about all the bad stuff in the world and that she should avoid it. And it's good. So yeah, I have one of the most sophisticated and educated in that respect daughter. So yeah, it was. I was never into Kurt Cobain, to be honest with you, and I was a producer, and recording engineer in Boston. We had, our own thing back then. Yeah, he was. I knew that, which is probably why I wasn't into what he did. See, all the guys that I used to work with were clean, and I really don't want to name any more names, but I knew a guy, a very, very talented singer. There was a huge band in Boston. They broke up. The guitar player formed another band, hired my friend, and they did some stuff. It was cool. But they broke that up and they went back. And, there were so many drugs involved. People that I knew asked me, did I want to do any auditions, for those? No. No. I did audition for Kiss, and the thing, people don't realize that, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons were clean, and I have personal knowledge about some of the other players that I'm not going to mention, but, all the guys like Edgar Winter of that era, they were all clean, and that's how I tried to be. I wanted to have a clear voice. I wanted to have, presence on stage, that was in total control, that I wouldn't do something, and make an ass of myself. And we had rules in the bands that, that I played in. We had they weren't like morality clauses like they used to have in the movies. But we had guidelines. You had to act like a gentleman, in front of the public. And also, my publisher talked to me about the morality of writing songs that would be upbuilding and not tearing down. And I never forgot that, because so much music, like the Seattle grunge thing, I just never got that. I never got that. Yeah, I mean, I remember, somebody did a song, Life Sucks, and then you die, but yeah, exactly. But I mean, you listen to the stuff that they were doing. I mean, how could they play high? It was too complex. And you listen to like John McLaughlin, right? And then the stuff that he was doing, all those guys. You can't do that stuff high. You can't. Some music you can. But the whole thing is, and I hate to say this, I'm just pointing out a fact, and I'm not making a judgment, but those guys are dead. The ones that did all those drugs are dead. The ones that didn't are still alive, so yeah, it can be. It can be. I understand. But you can still find happiness within your own home. You can find happiness in your life. It doesn't really depend on the outside, right? But if you're listening to depressing music, whoa, yeah. That's it. So we just had a little fun goofing around with this 12 string and all this stuff, and But anyway, I'm working on a new album, and actually I took a detour from my own stuff. I'm doing a cover of a Rick Derringer tune, and I'm really looking forward to releasing that soon, within a matter of weeks, and it's turning out really, really well. It's called Cheap Tequila. There's a version that Johnny Winter did that's really nice, and Rick Derringer's version is fast. Johnny Winter's version is slow. I'm doing a version that's slow, kind of like Johnny Winter's, but I use the 12 string on it, and boy, oh boy, does it sound good. Yeah. And I'm using the digital console here, and of course I got my keyboard out here in a drawer, which is always convenient. Yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I had a friend of mine from Seattle, and he was in Taiwan for, he and his wife were in Taiwan for a couple years, and now they're in Morocco. So they're telling me about the rain, but I noticed that when I came to Taiwan the first time, in April and May, it was just raining like every single day. Rain, rain, rain. But then, towards the end of May, Rob, you will. Are you familiar with that tune, Cheap Tequila? Let me play just a little bit of it for you. I'll play it on this. I think you might know it. It's like... Boy, that's out of tune. Yeah. That's the tune. So I'm doing a cover of that. It's almost done. Yeah, great, man. I saw Johnny Winter in 1973. I've seen Edgar Winter 3 times. Great. Yeah, that is a great tune. You know what I did? When I was a kid, I saw Edgar Winter, and my dad was a Honeywell engineer. And the funny thing is that Honeywell back in those days had a cooperation with Honeywell Pentax. Remember the Pentax cameras? So all my dad's pals had these Pentax cameras. I'm like 13 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. And then we moved to North Carolina, and I grew up a little bit more, and I was about 16 years old, and these other guys that my father knew had dark rooms. In addition, yeah, me too. I'm a huge Johnny Winter fan. So they all had dark rooms. So they gave me their dark room equipment that they didn't need anymore. Excuse me. But all these guys had these Pentax cameras and stuff. So, oh man, what year was that, Rob, that you saw Johnny? Anyway, what happened was I didn't have a Pentax because I couldn't afford it. My dad didn't want to buy me one because I was a high school kid. But I had another camera, you know, it was a manual camera, and I knew how to use it. And I shot Edgar Winter with the ARP 2600 synthesizer. Now here's what I did. Because I had a dark room and I could. My dad had a microfilm reader. And for those of you who know what a microfilm reader is, it's a projection system. It's got a parabolic aluminized screen, and it's got like a glass slide that you put the microfilm on, and it projects it up onto the screen, right? Well, no, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the whole thing. 72 seconds. Yeah, okay. That's about the time that I saw him too. Yeah, and I saw him in Curtis Hickson Hall in Tampa, and Foghat opened for him, man. I've seen Foghat 3 times, and they were the hardest working band in rock and roll, man. Foghat is unbelievable. Excuse me. All right, now, what I did was I took my dad's microfilm reader into the darkroom. And I never told anybody this before. This is an exclusive here. I took my dad's microfilm reader into the darkroom, and I put the slides in that I had shot at Edgar Winter, and I blew them up, and I put a piece of paper, print paper, on the screen, the parabolic screen of, you know, the microfilm reader, and I shined the light on it, and I timed it just like I was using an enlarger, okay? But what happened was, when I developed the film, I found that I could read the controls on the ARP 2600, except I didn't have one. But I realized, holy cow, you know, I got to see how Edgar Winter adjusted that to get those sounds. That was so cool. Must have been the same tour, exactly. Was that the tour that Johnny had that girl with him on stage playing tambourine, that he was chasing around with the Firebird and like banging into her and stuff? Yeah, that was the same tour. Oh my goodness, amazing. Of course, all that stuff that I had is all gone, but my goodness, that was so cool to be able to blow up the controls on the ARP 2600. Now, of course, the ARP company is gone, but guess what? I did. You're absolutely right, Monk. But guess what? Korg re-released it for a limited run, and they're all gone. But Behringer, the guys that made this console over here, Behringer, have released their own. Okay. I saw the same show as you did, just in a different town. And he used 2 Ampeg SVT cabinets, and one was facing forward and one was facing towards the band. And let me tell you, it was like earplug loud. There was more sound coming off the stage than there was out of the PA, out of the sound system. Anyway, so Behringer has come out with a clone of the ARP 2600, and they have embellished it. See, the Korg version is a little closer to the original, but they made it more stable and a little more modernized, especially with the keyboard. But the Behringer version, they got LEDs and all kinds of stuff on it. So thank you, Behringer. And there may be one of those in my future. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that. So this has been a very, very fun live stream. Talking about all this old stuff and goofing around with out-of-tune guitars. That's great. we get a chance to forget about the coronavirus. Now, I found out today, please look at my Twitter feed, Taiwan Live TV. Just look at Taiwan Live TV. My friend John, WN9T, John Garrett, in America, he's in the Boston area. He's in the film business. He's a really smart guy. I mean, seriously, you want to follow him. He posted he posted an article that I haven't seen before. Apparently, somebody has figured out the mechanism by which COVID-19 kills people. And if you treat the symptoms in an improper manner, it doesn't work. And it's interesting because it talked about the symmetry of the fibrosis in the lungs, which doesn't happen with real pneumonia. Apparently what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is COVID-19 affects the iron in the blood so that it cannot transmit oxygen to the organs. And that's what kills you. And intubing and respirators isn't the answer. So please do some of the please do some research. Yes, Rob, yeah, I remember that too, and I'm glad that you brought it up, because I didn't have to. Thank you. But yeah, that's right. Yeah. Apparently you did see the exact same show that I did. VNR, how you doing? Valkyrie, nice to have you with us. Fist bump to you. How are you? Welcome to Taiwan. Welcome to Taiwan Live TV. For more information, please go to taiwanlive.tv, and I would like to thank my sponsor, ivideo.com.tw. Depending on the platform, either in the description or in the profile, you can get a 10% discount, and ivideo.com is even cheaper than most indigenous, shall I say, than like the contract that you have with your home company. So if you want internet service when you're traveling, of course right now people are not really traveling so much, but if you're living overseas, ivideo.com is fantastic. There's no contract and they price match. It's fantastic. But if you want more information, and if you want to send us a postcard, go to taiwanlive.tv and look for the late night show. That's what we're doing here. You can send us a postcard. You know, there's a PDF file that you can download. But yeah. So, Valkyrie, is it? How you say that? VNR? Where are you viewing from? And thanks for joining us on Periscope. We're about ready to wrap up. It's been a fun show. Had a lot of fun. Reminisced a lot. Got a chance to exercise the vocal cords a little bit. Nope, totally me. Totally private. No government sponsorship whatsoever. But I am fortunate enough to live in Taiwan. And my wife and I run a manufacturing consortium, and we do manufacturing here in Taiwan, and we do not have any supply chain in China. So let me do this. I will just show you our information here. If you want to send us a postcard, go to taiwanlive.tv/late-night-show, or you can just use the pull down on the menu. Look for the link, mailing labels for postcards. You can download it and print it. It's a PDF file, and it's interlaced Chinese and English. Be sure to tell us who you are, because we have an absolutely amazing, wonderful, beautiful postcard from Oahu, Hawaii, and we have no idea who it's from because they didn't sign it. Our email for the show is latenight@taiwanlive.tv, and you can reach me. I'm completely available to you. Anything you want to talk to me about, if you want to complain, it's fine. If you need my help with something, It's fine. Please, we'd love to hear from you. Don't hold back. And we also like it when people tell us that we're doing something right. So, I want to thank you so much. And we have so many supporters and friends of ours that do bumpers and so forth. And let me just show you some of the bumpers, okay? And you're going to love these. This is fantastic.
Hi, this is Rob Ebner, and you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein.
That's right. And Rob is here tonight, too, with us. And and so many people send us bumpers. If you want to send us a bumper, you can do a bumper and send it to Late Night at TaiwanLive.tv. One of my favorites right here.
Let's step on tickets. Let's step on. This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. This is the final boarding call for the 451 Express. Welcome aboard. I'm your conductor, Coco. And our next and final destination will be Taiwan. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Because you're on Late Night with MJ Klein.
Now, how can you go wrong with friends and supporters like that? That is cool. Now, how cool is this?
Hi, this is Stephen Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
That is the best live streamer in the world. DaveInOsaka.com. Thank you, Dave. And I would not have this beautiful studio 2 preamp large capsule condenser microphone if it wasn't for Dave. Yes, he is. Hi, Dean. How are you? Nice to have you with us. Yeah, he is. So I'm blessed to have met and known all of these people. So thank you so much. And with that, you know, it's been an hour and 7 minutes. Oh, Prism is a live streaming app. And if you don't know what it is, you need to go, you know, whether you're on iOS or Android, you need to go to your app store and download it immediately. It does live streaming on multiple platforms, and it allows you to do things like I just did. I mean, I'm doing, this is my mobile phone, and I'm doing stuff like you would normally do, you know, from a desktop computer with broadcasting software. But, you know, I can put images, I can put multimedia, whatever I want. And I can even do web sources. Yeah, I know. Watch this. This is a web source. Because we were talking a couple of nights ago, we were talking about COVID-19. Now watch this. This is a web source. And that right there is from the World Wide Web, and it is updating in real time. And that shows you we're over 1.237 million confirmed people, which of course is probably about 1/10 of the reality. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. And there's so many other things that it does because it has all kinds of embellishments and so forth. So if you wanted to, well, some of the things that you can do with it, like, gosh, there's so many. The problem is you got to set it up ahead of time. But, you know, if you just want to say, like, thank you, you know, to your followers or something, or you just want to say, like, you know, please subscribe. So you just, you know, you can press this thing and it says, you know, okay, subscribe, things like that, and all this stuff, and you can say, like, you know, thank you to the followers and so forth. So yeah, it's really fantastic. Dean, take care. Thank you. It is, but you need to know it in order to protect yourself, okay? And right now, Taiwan is the safest place. We're not under lockdown, and hey, how's it going? We're not under lockdown. Our schools are functioning. Our businesses are functioning because the government took action early on. And it's not a political thing, and I'm not criticizing governments that didn't. Because in the Western world, I mean, the last major epidemic that they had was the Spanish influenza in 1918, so you can't expect them to know what to do. But here in Taiwan, we had SARS in 2003, and they set up the Central Epidemic Command Center. And so in December, when people started arriving from Wuhan into Taiwan that had symptoms, that's when they activated it. So, yeah, that's really true. And so, anyway, we talked about this, before, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but let's work together, okay? Social distancing. And there's one other little thing I just want to share because this is important. You may not know this. Now, I know it says a cell phone. That's kind of American. But a mobile phone literally has 18 times more bacteria than a public restroom. So when you're using hand sanitizers, sanitize your mobile device. Seriously. And that'll help a lot. I want to thank everyone for joining. Thank you so much. And please follow me on YouTube. I need the YouTube follows. Okay? Taiwan Live TV. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Periscope. Everything is Taiwan Live TV, one word. And our website is taiwanlive.tv. Thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you guys indulging me and putting up with my lousy playing and singing and so forth. 谢谢。我感谢你们看我的直播。Okay, so 我知道我听不好，我唱歌不好的，没关系，我们都是开心的。So thank you so much, and we're all happy, and we're so fortunate to have a means of like this that we can communicate. And I want to thank you so much. I appreciate all my followers. I have the best followers, the most loyal followers, and I don't deserve you guys. But thank you so much. Thank you, Rob. Take care. Fist bump to all you guys. And I love all of you. Bye-bye now. And that's a wrap.